So at the moment you have a program that processes an exact number of months. You may want to take a copy or take a screenshot of the code or print out your own program so that you have a note of how to do a fixed loop. What I'm going to do now is to change the program so that it runs a conditional loop. So we're assuming that Jim doesn't know how many months he's going to enter, because realistically to expect him to count up the months first and then enter the data would be a bit annoying. So I'm just going to assume that once they've clicked on there, they want to process some months. So I'm going to put yes into, and I'll have a variable called processing. So I'm going to copy that, Control C, and because I won't, well, I might need that actually, so I'm going to click in here and I'm going to declare this up here as a string variable because it has these characters in it. And now I don't know how many months to process, but I'm going to keep going until the processing variable says no. So I'm going to put repeat until processing equals no. So in fact, I'm going to take that line there, I'm going to cut it, let's just move these up a bit, and I'm going to put it next to the loop just to make it a bit more readable. I'm just going to press tab just to line things up. So down at the bottom of the loop here, I'm going to ask if there are more months to enter. So I'm going to say ask continue processing, and I'm going to make sure he knows what to type in, so yes, no, and I'm going to allow him to just copy that. I'm going to allow him to press cancel, and whatever he types in, I'm going to put that into this variable called processing. So just to look at what we've done here, I'm going to start off, say yes, he is processing because he's clicked on that button, and I'm going to get a name of a month, get the earnings, add on the earnings, and ask him who wants to continue processing. Now the only other thing that we need to worry about is we don't know how many months, so when we come down here and try and divide by the number of months, we'll be dividing by, well, who knows what, because we haven't given a value to number of months. So here I'm going to start off, I'm going to put 0 into our number of months. Let's just copy that. And once I'm into the loop, that must mean that I'm picking up the name of the month, so I'll do that, and maybe that would be a good place to put that I've gone up by 1 in the number of months. I could put it here, or even here, or here, or here, anywhere inside the loop, but I do need to add 1 to the number of months. So I'm going to put number of months plus, let's just move that back into the number of months, so that each time round the loop I'll say enter the name of a month, I'll add 1 on to the number of months, get the earnings, add that onto my total earnings, and then I'll ask if I'm supposed to keep processing. If they say yes, come back here, repeat until the processing says no, enter the name of the month, add on 1 to the number of months, take the earnings, total up the earnings, ask again, get a month, number of months goes up by 1, get the earnings, total it up, and so on. And then at some point they're going to type no, and it'll come up here and it says repeat until processing equals no. So at that point it'll jump down to this line. Just move that up a bit, and I should get the total earnings, and I round the average earnings, display the average earnings, and again I tell him whether or not he's got more than £3,000 on average. So let's compile the code, translate it into machine code so it can run, and off we go. Enter earnings. Now enter the name of the month. Let's go January. You notice it didn't ask me how many months this time. There goes January. Continue processing. Let's say yes. It's February. And let's keep him below the 3,000 average. Yes. March. And let's say we've got £500 in March because he went off to Barbados for a holiday. Yes. And April. Let's do, came back from Barbados refreshed, so he earned quite a lot there. But then he got a back injury, and in May he didn't earn anything at all. So I'm going to say I want to stop processing, and it should calculate. You'll notice those values were left over from the previous time I ran the program. So when I press OK, let's see, that was my total earnings, so they should add up to that. Divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I get that, and it says not so great. Need more work coming in. And there you have it. We've redone the program, but this time instead of a fixed loop, we have what's called a conditional loop, in that it's repeating until that condition is true. Bye for now.